Hi, my name's Corey, and I'm here with
Kathy Griffin.
and we're going to be going over text 105 today, plastic limits. So again, just like in the other videos, Kathy, you're going to be training me. So let's go ahead and get started. We got all kinds of different tools here. What do we have here exactly?
We have our plaster of Paris molds. We have glass for rolling, or the PLRD plastic limit rolling device.
Okay, so we got some paper too, I'm noticing
Yes.
there. Quick question here. I noticed this looks like a hamburger. There's some material in there.
Yes. This is
why is
material. This is material left over from running our test method text 104 liquid limit.
Okay, so I guess we're ready to get going then, right?
Yes.
So this is how many grams? 20, correct?
Approximately 20 grams.
Approximately 20 grams. So let's go ahead and let's start teaching me.
Okay, so first thing you want to do is get the paper on your plastic limit rolling device.
Okay.
You want to put it between the lips on the bottom. You try to do it without wrinkles.
No wrinkles? No wrinkles.
That's cool. Can't find the...
And this is
There it is.
5th grade or above with the paper.
Yes.
We're having a hard time here.
Same thing when you're putting it on your lid. You can see the edges of the lid where it's been rubbing across the lip on the bottom. You want to make sure you get the paper between that area so it doesn't hinder when you start rolling.
Okay, I'll take that trash over there. We'll put it all over here.
Okay. All right, now you're ready. So there's 3 ways that you can go from your liquid limit material to
Okay.
dry it out for you to be able to roll it for your
Okay.
plastic.
What are those
Okay.
three ways?
One way is to expose it in front of an electric fan, no heat, just a air current. The thing is, when you do that, you have to be constantly kneading it. You can't just walk off and leave it, because it will dry on the outside
not
and
the
not
inside.
the inside.
That makes sense.
The whole purpose of the test is that the material dries evenly,
Okay.
okay? And the other method is placing it between 2 plaster of Paris discs, which is what we have. Or you could roll it on some form of paper. Copy paper works great. That does not add any fibers. You cannot use a paper towel or a napkin, because that would add fibers to your sample, okay?
Perfect. So 3 ways to do it.
Yes.
That's easy.
All right, so you're going to form several ellipsoidal masses, approximately 1.5 to 2 grams.
So not circles,
Not circles.
more like eggs.
Ellipsoidal just means it's a little bit oblong.
Okay.
That assists it when you start rolling.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
The purpose of not getting more than 1.5 to 2 grams is because when you start rolling it and it gets to 1/8 of an inch, then it will get up onto the lips,
Okay.
and then you have a hard time rolling.
Gotcha.
And they are a booger bear to clean. Okay?
Okay.
You do not, the test
Is booger bear a technical term?
Yes,
Okay.
it most definitely is.
So we're doing 4 to 5 of these, you said?
The test procedure says you can.
Okay, gotcha.
Personally, I can't.
Okay.
So, says to line them up, evenly spaced apart,
Okay.
okay? If you're using your PLRD,
Is this something I can try?
yes,
Okay. I'm gonna
okay?
set it over here. Hopefully y'all can see that right there.
80 to 90 strokes per minute.
Oh.
1 stroke from the beginning back, all the way back to where you started.
So 1,
Yes.
2, 3. Okay, and per minute?
Yes, and
Okay,
the thing is, when you're on the wetter side, which is where we're just starting out, you don't want to apply too much pressure.
Okay, so just kind of set it down there and go back and
And
forth.
go back and forth
Okay.
till it gets to 1/8 of an inch.
So I've never done this, so tell me if my speed is going too slow, too fast. Can I hold on to here?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So just kind of set it in there. And how, real quick before we go, I'm gonna turn this sideways. when I go this direction, is there a certain distance or am I just back and forth, back and forth?
Whatever
Okay.
works best for you.
Okay, so let's say I start here, go 1. Can I stop at any time
Yes.
to check?
Stop it at any time to check it.
I'm down to 2.
Okay, so you combine 2. I usually spit one out each end. Okay. This is where we didn't take it to 1/8 of an inch.
Okay, it needs to
Okay.
go to 1/8 of an inch.
So this test procedure is where your plastic limit, your material goes to 1/8 of an inch at least once.
Okay.
Then you get it to the end point.
Okay, so
Okay.
I still need to get to 1/8 of an inch.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. When you go to 1/8 of an inch, you put it all back together,
So recombine everything.
recombine everything. This is what I call the rinse and repeat, just like on your shampoo bottle. You put it all back together,
Hold on, you're supposed to shampoo your hair twice, not once? That's just joking.
knead it between your thumb and finger,
So just kind of knead it a couple times.
yes, so that it's drying evenly.
Okay.
And then reform. I'm gonna give you 4.
Okay. But if you were going to grade my technique of the back and forth, I'm doing okay?
You're doing okay, yes.
Okay, just okay, not great. Okay.
It takes a little practice,
Okay.
like everything else. Okay. We're back down to 1/8 of an inch. You can see that it's starting to separate,
Mm-hmm.
do what they call a barrel effect. But that does not mean we are at our end point,
Okay.
okay? You continuously pick up all of your pieces, knead them back together,
Rinse and repeat.
rinse and repeat.
Make your little
Little ellipsoidal masses.
ellipsoidal mat. That's a hard word to say.
Yes, it is.
Put it straight there for myself.
Okay. At no point do you get it to 1/8 of an inch and then just continue rolling without further deformation. Once it goes to 1/8 of an inch, you stop. You put it together and then you go back to 1/8 of an inch. You don't just keep rolling it without it going further
Oops,
down.
I just threw that piece.
Well,
Well, I'm throwing all kinds of pieces now. So do I need to make that back into a...
yes. Put it all back together.
This is more difficult than when you're doing it.
Yes. Because you're getting closer to your plastic,
Okay.
okay?
So just kind of keep kneading it there. Just knead.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm gonna break it up into the 4 little spots. Can I do 2?
You can do it however you want.
Okay.
And if you want to use the PLRD and you are not able to do 3 or 4 at a time, it's fine if you just do 1 at a time. It's up to you. The main thing is that when you get it to your end point, you put it in your container and put the lid on it.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it one more time.
It also says at no time should you apply more pressure to cause it to break.
So I'm looking at this. How do I know when I get to my end point?
When you know when you're at your end point because it will no longer roll to 1/8 of an inch.
What does it do?
It crumbles.
It just crumbles?
Yes. It may start crumbling before it gets even close to 1/8 of an inch.
Yeah, because I'm noticing it's harder and harder, it seems like, to
Put together.
put back together.
A fat clay will really trick you.
Okay.
Okay, I've had people that try to do the bend effect. If it bends, they roll it again. If it snaps, they call it good, but that is not your end point.
Okay, so we're getting close to our end point though, right? Because
Yes.
this is like super hard for me to get all this
You're
stuff
getting
off.
close, yes.
So I'm gonna knead it together again. Is there a certain time period you need to knead this together, or is it just kind of best judgment?
Best judgment.
Okay, I'm gonna just break it into 2 sections this time because I've been struggling.
The main key is that you cannot roll. You're required to have a minimum 10 grams
Okay.
for your sample size. You cannot roll out 10 grams at one time. That's why when you get the tare weight of your container, you get the tare weight with the lid.
So what would you say this is doing now?
I would say you're extremely close. So
Okay.
what I would do, my first little bit for this, I would put it all back together
Okay.
and see if it, because it's still rolled to 1/8 of an inch.
Mm-hmm.
See if it breaks apart and crumbles and will no longer roll to 1/8.
Okay. Do we need to get that can then too? Do we have one of those
Yes.
around? Well, I'm just struggling to get this put back together.
Well, all I have there are bottoms and no lids.
Okay, well. Okay, so I got it back together. I'm in need. Keeps falling apart.
Now, if you're rolling a cohesionless material,
Mm-hmm.
the PLRD may not be appropriate for it because the weight of the lid itself will collapse it. So if you're running a cohesionless material, okay, don't go too much, you don't wanna over dry. So you are definitely there.
Okay, so then do I get a weight on this first?
Yes, with the lid,
Okay, and then we just dump that in there?
then you just use this as a funnel and roll it in. Put the lid on it. When you go to the scale to make sure you have 10 grams minimum, you leave the lid on it.
Okay,
The only time it comes off is when you go to the oven, and then you put the lid on the bottom so that you pick it up because it's part of your tear.
okay, what temperature is the oven?
230.
230? Okay, perfect.
Okay,
And now we're gonna do it on this?
yes,
Okay, we're not
You're-
gonna run all the way through this because it's
No.
pretty much the same. We're just gonna do the first one just so people
Yes.
can see, okay?
you're not required to use the PLRD. You can still roll by hand. If you roll by hand, you don't want to roll with your fingers.
Okay, what do you roll with?
You roll with the fat here,
This part?
yes.
Muscle on right here.
Yes.
These are muscular.
This
right? So-
way, you're rolling it evenly.
Okay.
Because when you're using your fingers, these bones apply more pressure, and then you've got
Grooves everywhere.
section that's not drying as evenly as that.
Okay, so just,
So you just,
okay, then same thing? Right,
Yes.
You get to 1/8 of an inch?
you
and
go
then
to 1/8 of an inch, you do not go below 1/8 of an inch. You go to 1/8, put it back together,
Okay.
and do the same process.
Put it back together. Do the whole kneading,
Yes.
all that's the same. It's interesting how you can, with your experience, you knead with one hand. It's taken me 2 hands to knead it. Okay, but just one of the balls is enough though for
Yes,
this one. So you just do
yes.
here, and I just want to try one time since I'm learning. And it's
And-
this part,
Yes.
and it's just like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'd go to 1/8 of an inch, do it again, all the way to the same point
Yes.
until we put it here.
Yes.
Okay.
If, like I said, if you're rolling a cohesionless material, you can't roll it like this or with a PLRD. You simply just form best you can and take your finger and just give it a slight roll,
So
and
just
that's
this
all
part
you
of our
can
finger
do.
right here?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the cohesionless falls apart when it dries out, and that's the only material that it may not ever go to 1/8 of an inch. Okay.
Well, Kathy, again, thank you for teaching me how to do this. Hope this video has been helpful to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.